In this video, we're still working on basic earnings per share, but we're looking at denominators when things can get a little bit more complicated. And that happens when we have stock splits or stock dividends. So let's take a look. What we do is we start with a similar structure where we take the number of shares outstanding at the beginning of the year. In this case, we had 11,000 out at the beginning of the year, 11,000. 12 out of 12 months they were outstanding, and so we have our weighted average on the far right. The next group that was issued was on March 1st. We have 3,000 new shares, so they were available for 10 out of 12 months. January and February, of course, they weren't available. So we multiply that out. So what we have to do when we have a stock split is first we have to subtotal where are we before the stock split. And what we do is pretend that that stock split happened at the beginning of the year. And so in this case, we had 14,000 and it's a 3-for-1 stock split. So that means that for every one, there's now 3. How do we make this work? Is that we basically take 2 times 14,000, 28,000, and that'll give us a subtotal of 42. Or you could just take 14,000 times 3, and that'll give you your 42,000 there. And so the retroactive application, we have to look, where were we on the far right side? 13,500. Multiply that by 2 to get 27,000. So assume for every one of those that of 13,500, there are now 3 of them. So 40,500 is 13,500 times 3. So the retroactive application is adding the new shares in both columns. What happens after that is we have a new issue. This new issue is now past the stock split. So we're not doing a retroactive on this one. That's why it's important to make sure we do the retroactive at the correct time during the year. Anything that happens after that point would then be simply done as we have done it before. And in this case, 3,600 new shares, and they were available in June. So we had 7/12 of the year that they were available, and the treasury stock purchase happened in September. So we have September, October, November, December, 4/12 of the year, and we're going to subtract those. And so notice at the end, the comments, what we need for our denominator is going to be that 42,520. But we have to make sure we just are very careful when we deal with stock splits and stock dividends.